at the county buildings on the 17th of March. So hopefully some of you, if not all of you, were available at that meeting, and hopefully you found it insightful and helpful at the same time. So I will just move over to show you the framework lots. So this is quite a large tender. There are 11 lots in total, each different, specialising in a different trade, until number 11, which is a super lot, which is a multi-trade. So this would be used if there is a void property that has multiple aspects that need required. So there could be plumbing, there could be electrical, there could be flooring, there could be any means or number of issues that needs repaired and incomplete. So that is why the super lot is included in that aspect. This slide was provided at the meeting, however it does include quite a bit of information, so you may have not been able to see it in full. So hopefully you will be able to read through it. This is also in the specification documents on Public Contracts Scotland tender. So as you can see, there are 11 lots. You can apply for as many or as little as you wish. They all have their own pricing schedule attached to each of the lots, because as you can imagine, the joinery schedule rates will not be the same as the tarmac rates, for example. So that is why they all have their own individual pricing schedules. There are, out of the 11, there are 4 lots that do require emergency and out of hours cover, and these are the lot 3 for joinery, lot 6 for plumber work, lot 9 for the electrical works, and the lot 11, the super lot. So all the other ones do not require out of hours cover and emergency works, but these particular lots do. So you just need to keep that in mind when you're applying, to make sure that you have, it's not necessarily, it won't just be yourself that will be on this particular lot. We do hope, or we are looking to appoint up to 6 contractors per lot. In the ideal world, that would be fantastic. May not be available for each and individual lots, but it's just to bear in mind that there could be the possibility, if you do apply for any of those 4 lots, that we would contact you for emergency or out of hours cover. So what is a framework agreement? So as I mentioned there are multiple lots, there's 11 lots. As I said, you can apply for one or them all. It's completely entirely up to you and the capacity of you as a company. Then there, as I said, multiple suppliers. So we are hoping to appoint up to a maximum of 6 contractors per lot, but that depends on the submissions and what our options are for appointing those suppliers onto this framework. The framework is also non-committal, so that means the one individual contractor will not be guaranteed a certain amount or value of work. This is just, as we said, the 6, then it could be rotational. So you may receive some work one month, but then there may be next month that you don't receive any. This is just the way of it, and it depends on your availability too, because we understand that not all of your workload will be just for South Ayrshire Council. You do have your own workload too. So it's a balancing act. We need to make sure that you can deliver some work for us, but we understand that you will have your own workload to deliver to. And this particular framework will be for 4 years in total. For the first year, we would like to have the cost fixed, and then for the second, third and fourth year, then you could put increases into that. For the initial 2 years, first 2 years, it's guaranteed, and then how we put it, I'll put it up the next slide actually, that might explain it a wee bit better. So the term is for a total of 4 years, and how we divide that, it's for 2 years, which is a definite, and then it's a +1 so that is an optional extension year. So it depends on if the workload is still required, or if we can deliver some of it internally within the council. It just offers us the possibility and the options for that, but I'm pretty sure that this will be for the full term of the 4 years. The tendering and evaluation process, so once you have submitted your tenders, this goes over to us and we have to then follow the evaluation process. Because this is a multi-lot framework, this can take some time, so please don't fret if you don't hear from us after you have submitted, because this can take a good 2 to 3 months depending on the number of providers who have supplied a response. The tender was published on the 16th of March. The question and answering deadline, and the question and answering deadline, this is through Public Contracts Scotland tender, and it is the 18th of April. And then the full tender submission deadline is the following week, which is the 25th of April, and that's at 12 noon. So we are hoping, now even though I said the evaluation process can take up to 2 to 3 months, we are hoping to have this started in early June. So we are hoping to complete the evaluation process relatively quick, just to get this one in place. And then there are a couple of reference numbers below that you may refer to. So I know SDP are going to talk you through certain things, but these are just some registrations that are required for you to respond to this framework tender. Right, so once you get into the information on Public Contracts Scotland tender, there are 3 envelopes that require completion. The first one is the qualification envelope, and this is just brief general information. So it's your contact details, it's the contact personnel, it's your email address, it's to make sure that you have the minimum requirements that we need as a buyer to accept your submission. So this one only needs completed once, regardless of the number of lots that you are applying for. The next envelope is the quality envelope, or sometimes known as the technical envelope. So once again, this only needs completed once, regardless of the number of lots. It's a general envelope. So this includes like your method statements and how the work will be delivered, and the work should be delivered regardless of the lots that you're applying for, but it should be delivered to the same standard. It will ask you about your personnel. It will ask about your your working practices and your risk management and sustainability. Sustainability is important as we're all trying to reduce waste and all the rest of it. So as I say, this only needs completed once as well. Then we move on to the final envelope, and this is the commercial envelope. Now, each of the lots have their own commercial envelope. So this is the pricing schedules. So this is each of them should itemize or list aspects of the lot that we as a buyer would expect to be required or delivered. And there may be aspects on this that you think, oh, I don't understand why that's required. But if everybody completes the schedules to the same standard and to the same rates, then that allows us to directly compare the costs. So there may be aspects that aren't required or will never be required, but it just keeps it as a standard template for completion. So as I said previously, the rates will be fixed only for year one, the first year, and then it offers you allowances to put in uplift rates or percentages for years 2, 3 and 4. The pricing schedules are in Excel format. They should be simple, and there are highlighted fields as to where you need to enter the information, and everything else should automatically calculate. If there are any issues with any of those pricing schedules, however, please make us aware through the Public Contract Scotland tender question and answer forum. So I have talked slightly through the process. So at the start, we issued a PIN notice, so that's a prior information notice, and that allows us to gauge how many people may be interested in this particular framework, but also allows us to see what particular lots the interest lies. Then the tender is currently live, and then there's time for Q&A because so the tender should be live for 35 days. However, because it falls over the Easter holidays and we've got Good Friday and Easter Monday coming up, we have actually allowed for the tender to be live for 39 days. So hopefully that helps yourselves and that is beneficial to yourselves. So the tender then closes on the 25th of April, and then the evaluation process starts. This is an internal evaluation process, and it involves several services and personnel to go through all of the documentation that has been submitted, and from there you will hear back from ourselves, and there will be a standstill period that's not on this process. A standstill period is for 10 working days, and that allows time for anybody to dispute anything if they have any queries against the scoring process or the evaluation process. If everything runs smoothly and there aren't any disputes, then we can then award and commence the framework. And this is my last slide, and it's just to say who can help. Well, we're obviously here today with SDP, and they have plenty of training and online resources to help each and every one of you. We have the Economic and Regeneration team, within South Ayrshire Council. They were also present at the information meeting, and there are other ones here for Business Gateway and Federation of Small Businesses as well. So there are plenty options out there for help for the submissions, and there's also the Public Contracts Scotland tender question&A answer, which I will respond when I receive anything in. I hope that was helpful. And that's me finished my